Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mr. Magazine, the home of the most gripping, heart-wrenching, soul-stirring celebrity chronicles in Turkey and beyond. Before we descend into tonight's emotionally charged narrative, one that shook the country's entertainment sphere like an earthquake, don't forget to subscribe, tap that join button to support our channel, like, and comment. Because what unfolded at Istanbul's most prestigious film awards gala was not merely an unexpected revelation. It was the moment fate decided to unveil a truth that had been quietly beating beneath sequins, spotlights, and red carpet smiles. For weeks, Istanbul had awaited the annual Film Awards Gala, an event synonymous with glamour, cinematic pride, and the shimmering presence of Turkey's brightest stars. Everything about the evening seemed calibrated for perfection: the glistening red carpet, the orchestral arrangements, the meticulously curated seating charts. And of course, the high-profile guests who embodied the luminous world of film. Among them was Semra Arda, the ethereal actress whose elegance has long captivated the public. She arrived in a breathtaking silver mermaid gown that hugged her silhouette, reflecting light like a living sculpture. But observant eyes, and soon, thousands of social media users, caught sight of a barely visible curve beneath the satin. What appeared at first as nothing more than a fashion detail soon transformed into a whisper, then a murmur, then a virtual eruption online. Within minutes, hashtags began trending. #Semra Arda, #Is she pregnant?, #Gala shock. And while the audience was buzzing with speculation, Gökberk Yıldırım stepped onto the stage, blissfully unaware that his life was about to split into a before and after. As the presenter announced his name and applause thundered through the hall, Gawkberg rose with a proud, sincere smile. He embraced colleagues, shook hands, and walked toward the spotlight as though nothing in the universe was out of place. But when he reached the podium, he instinctively scanned the audience. And there, seated beneath the chandelier's golden glow, was Semra. Their eyes met. Time fractured. Witnesses later described it as the exact second the gala's celebratory ambience shattered. A visible tremble rolled through the actor's hands, his eyes gleamed with something far deeper than mere stage emotion. His breathing hitched, subtle, yet unmistakable. Hidden beneath her poise, Semra's expression cracked. She looked away, her lashes fluttering like a storm held back by force. In his acceptance speech, Gawkberg faltered for a heartbeat. His voice thickened. And then he uttered a line that fans would later dissect endlessly. "Some awards are placed in your hands, but others weigh heavily on your heart." At that moment, thousands realized. He knew. Or he suspected. Or he was moments away from learning the truth. Once the ceremony moved on, Gawkberg slipped behind the curtains, the applause fading behind him. There, in the half-lit chaos of stagehands and photographers, he caught a familiar friend by the arm. Multiple witnesses heard his trembling whisper. "Is it true? Is she expecting?" The friend's hesitant nod was enough to drain all color from his face. Suddenly, a night meant to celebrate his artistic triumph became a confrontation with the one truth Semra had desperately tried to protect him from. For weeks, the entertainment press had speculated about the actress's emotional withdrawal, her cancelled appearances, and her sudden shift toward loose-fitting attire. Many assumed heartbreak, exhaustion, or a desire to stay away from the spotlight. No one imagined pregnancy. A source from the production team she currently works with confided to the media. She found out barely 2 months ago. She wasn't ready. The breakup had drained her emotionally. She feared the press, she feared judgment, and most of all, she feared Gawkberg wouldn't be prepared for news of this magnitude. But secrets are fragile things. And the universe, as that night proved, has a way of revealing them whether we are ready or not. After confirming the truth from a third party, Gawkberg walked through the labyrinth of backstage corridors until he found her, standing in a quiet hallway beneath a dim security light. What happened next was brief, but powerful enough to echo throughout the internet like a seismic wave. He approached her with unsteady steps. She looked at him with a face both terrified and resigned. Then came the question he had dreaded asking. "I just need to know, is the child mine?" Her lips trembled. Her eyes filled. And she whispered words that pierced him like a blade. "It was always yours, Gawkberg. But you came too late." People nearby swore they felt the air leave his body. Some truths do not thunder, they whisper. And sometimes whispers destroy more effectively than storms. After their confrontation, Semra slipped out of the venue through a side exit, escorted by her manager. She avoided reporters, avoided cameras, avoided noise. Gawkberg, however, returned to his seat. Or rather, he sat in his seat, though he didn't seem present within it. Photographers captured his vacant stare, his trembling jaw, the way he pressed his fingers together as though holding himself from breaking apart. When asked for a statement, he offered only one sentence. Some news isn't delivered under the glare of cameras. Within hours, social media overflowed with theories, heartbreak, anger, sympathy, and longing. Fans dug up past interviews where Semra had once admitted, "I don't regret loving him. Not even the painful parts." Others recalled her recent cryptic caption, "Some truths grow inside you, even when they hurt." In the days that followed, Gawkberg was seen leaving his home with a grave expression, ignoring reporters' questions. Yet those close to him claim he is experiencing a whirlwind of emotions. Shock, guilt, love, fear, and unexpectedly, a quiet happiness. He always dreamed of having a family with her, a friend confided. He never thought he would learn about it this way, but he wants to do the right thing. Meanwhile, Semra has withdrawn from public life. She is said to be physically healthy but emotionally fragile, focusing on one thing alone: protecting her peace and her child. What occurred that gala night was not merely a shocking revelation. It was the ignition of a new chapter, one laced with pain, unspoken love, regret, and the fragile promise of rebirth. As one of Semra's closest confidants revealed, she never wanted him to find out like this, but maybe fate simply refused to wait. A sentence that encompasses the entire tragedy. Love that lingered. Destiny that intervened. Lives that changed. And a child now quietly shaping the future. And thus, dear viewers, we conclude tonight's emotional odyssey. If this story moved you, and how could it not? Don't forget to subscribe to Mr. Magazine. Hit the like button. Tap the join button to support our channel. Leave your thoughts below. Do you believe fate will bring Semra and Gawkberg back together? Or has too much damage been done? Your comments shape our next stories. Stay with us, because in the world of Turkish celebrities, nothing stays hidden for long.